last night, I was like, um, and I know this is recording now, but I was like, hey, let's go one more shot. Let's go for a sister or a brother.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Wow. So I guess I got my own news too. I mean, since we're sharing these things, this is beautiful. So I think we're gonna try for a second one too. But
Whoa.
Sharice isn't gonna carry, so we're gonna do the surrogacy thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
that's
she's got a couple of
understandable.
medical conditions. She was, so she don't want to be bedridden just in case. I was like, all right, listen, that's fine. I don't mind doing it like that. It's just, with all the things that happen with family lately and all that, she's always been like, the business. And then, after that, I want to travel once we get done with Peter. And I think it's opened her eyes because I wanted at least another boy, man. And I only shoot white chromosomes. So at that point, I'll be pretty much good to go.
Oh my
And
God.
Peter really wants a sibling. So, how that can change as they get older too, and they're a little bit far apart. But
We asked Titan if he wants a brother or sister. He said, "No, I'm not sharing my money to anybody." Mm-mm.
I actually brought that up to Peter too. I'm like, well, listen, man. I'm like, everything that you do now, or what comes, I was like, if we do get to leave you anything, I was like, half it's going to be his or hers or whoever it is. It'll be a him. But at that point, like, he's like, I don't care. He's like, I'll be so, I was just really pumped. I was really happy about that too. Because like I said, 14 years old already. It's like, I don't need anybody else. But I think we all want a brother if you're a boy and a sister as a girl if you're a girl.
Oh yeah, it's
I think
great.
if you can, and you're in the position that you guys are in, it's like you're gonna raise a nice child and help,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be successful. And I mean, it's a great thing.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
In the beginning, when Peter was 2, that's when we started Titan, and there's a lot of sacrifice. Like I couldn't coach his teams in the beginning and stuff like that because I had to work. So luckily I had my dad who I retired, and at that point he'd be able to watch Peter. If we had to work late or whatever it was. But if we do have another one, you can bet your butt I'm following the Michael Horn way with this, and I will be around that kid 24/7, making sure I know exactly what he's eating, exactly what he's learning, and playing sports with him from. I mean, I played sports with Peters from day one, but getting to coach every team like I want or wanted to do with him. So it'll be nice. I mean, I don't care. There's only so much traveling you can do, right? And you can make great memories, and you can bring your kid along too. I mean, it's the party lifestyle is gone. That's not what's cool when you get older.
we're at that stage. I was just talking to a guy at the gym. I got carried away, and he's a very successful person, very successful from South Africa, and he works 7 days a week like you and I.
Yep.
And is like we have fun doing the work, but we're still around the little ones plenty because we work for ourselves in a sense.
Right.
So I thought it was an interesting thing that it's like you put me in Cancun for 2 weeks, I'm going stir crazy.
Right.
That's not what I want a gym and to be able to do some kind of work and keep
Yep.
pushing it and stuff. And
Of
so
course. Of course.
that being said, we're also around the kid, and so we get to raise him in a fun way. And I was thinking back to my mom and dad. First of all, no cell phones or anything like that, so they barely
Right.
saw each other. 10 kids.
Right.
I don't know how they did it.
Dude, I don't know how they did it. Honestly, I mean, one kid is a lot of responsibility and a lot of work. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Dude, that is like my hats off to your parents and all the other like they don't build them like they used to type deal.
Yeah,
Because man, back in the day, it was a thing. 6, 8 kids.
yeah.
The older days 10, 12 because they were the workers. Doing all the work outside. At that point, and I don't know. It's just crazy. It's not done like that anymore.
And their pull out game was terrible. So I guess at the end of the day,
They weren't worried about that. They have no clue. Like, this feels good. I'm done. Yeah. It's crazy. So it's really cool though. It's definitely cool. So
well, congrats. I could
you
so look at
too.
you guys doing that, and then for us, I think it's going to be a process for us and stuff. And
Yeah.
so I think that's something that we'll definitely talk about. And I know that HRT would help me. There's
Sure.
some great things there to
Sure.
help me make sure that I'm still firing some good ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
some bullets to have another little one. So
And
we'll talk about that at another time. But I think that's going to be a cool process if that's something that we venture down.
absolutely. And on that tip, so Titan Medical Center does offer fertility protocols and the medications and therapies for patients. So if you are looking to go down that path, then we could definitely help out in that area. We've done pretty good things, amazing things, in my opinion, as far as helping a lot of different patients achieve this goal, all the way from younger 30s to up to 50s, 60-year-old guys. So at that point, it's just something that you can do, and it doesn't necessarily involve HRT. It would definitely help, and that's my next stepping point. Was, a lot of people think if you're on testosterone, then you're infertile, or you can't have kids. So you don't become infertile when you go on testosterone. What happens is your testicles shrink, they go through atrophy, low semen production happens, okay, and shrinkage of the testicles. So at that point, that's where it's at. Now, if you're taking HRT correctly, it's not just testosterone. We talk about balancing hormones. So it's going to have testosterone.
I'm glad you said that, because I think that's when you say HRT or TRT,
Yeah.
The average Joe goes instantly to one thing.
Oh, yeah.
Testosterone.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
funny because of the fact that I've been with Titan Medical now for
A year almost.
is it a year?
Almost a year.
October, I think. Yeah, it was like September, I think, is a year. So we're getting close. We're out there, 6
All right.
months. Yeah.
And I've been optimizing my health incredibly. But one of the things that we haven't done is that.
Right.
And it's funny that they go on only to that. And it's like, wait, there's a
Right.
whole baseball field of other things going
Yes.
on here.
Yes.
It's like there's a plethora of things to sleep, joints, skin,
Absolutely.
hair. And so I'm just glad you said it. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, listen, I mean, that's what it is. And that's really when I get out there. People refer to us as like, you're an HRT company. We are not an HRT company. We do HRT very well, right? But we're a preventative and anti-aging medical center. We help in a number of different ways in anti-aging purposes. So at that point, preventative medicine is another thing that we really focus on. When we talk about glutathione, or even our Triimmune that has glutathione, vitamin C, and zinc all in one injection, or thymosin alpha 1, or any of the peptides. I mean, these are big preventative medications and therapy. So, don't get it in your head where that's all I do is HRT. And then the other thing is that I try to stay away from the word TRT, because TRT is testosterone replacement therapy. So that, to me, if I was a consumer or a patient out there, I would think that, well, I'm just going to take testosterone. That's it. And that's all I need. So I always refer to it as hormone replacement therapy, because we are replacing hormones and we are balancing hormones. So at that point, you can go on one hormone, two hormones. It just depends who you are. Maybe a woman, it might be 3 hormones, 4. So, it really depends on the person. And with that, like I said, it's such a wide range of different things that we do, and a wide range for HRT. So, they will go on testosterone. An estrogen blocker is a male, and they'll have gonadal support, so testicle support. So basically, they're not going to get any of the shrinkage. They're not going to lower their semen production. If anything, if somebody's really trying as a guy, the best thing to do, I would think, is HRT. And this is the reason why. Now, if your numbers are good, I wouldn't say it. There's a couple other therapies that we can boost and do some things with. But when you're on HRT, and let's say you're at 300, a total testosterone, and your free is in the dumps. So you're going to go on testosterone, and what that's going to do is that's going to create sex drive, right? And we always think that, guys, testosterone, sex drive, building muscles. But it's going to help in a number of different ways, but sex drive and motivation will be one of them. And the other thing would be the gonadal support, which will increase the semen production. And at that point, you're going to be able to shoot at the target more times at a higher volume rate. And that's the best thing I could say.
Then
I think it's great information for everybody out there. I mean, for those guys that have no knowledge and they keep asking stupid questions, I think
Yep.
this is rewind this and kind of watch it again.
Yep.
Who is it? De Niro and Pacino both had kids.
80.
I think that's. Sorry, they financially can do it, and I think
course.
that's incredible. Wow, just good for them if they can do that, right? But is that possibly the help from something like that you're doing is coming
Absolutely.
into play to help them out?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, that is like the most minimal way, right? You can take in clomiphene that will boost up semen volume for sure, 100% by itself. ATG, it will boost it up by itself. But you still might have the conversion of testosterone to estrogen. We see it with a ton of our patients that are on, we call it more of a natural protocol. Somebody doesn't want to go on testosterone first and they want to try this in the first steps. And, so at that point, they get great success with there. Now, there's people that definitely need more help in the area, per se. And at that point, we have FSH injectable, and that's follicle stimulating hormone injectable. And when you raise follicle stimulating hormone, you're going to boost testosterone, and you're going to boost semen production big time. So that's what you can use, to become fertile. If females too as well, because sometimes females have issues. I would think guys are more. If I had to bet on somebody getting somebody pregnant, one way or the other, it would be more of a guy to a girl. Like De Niro, he's 8 years.
Isn't that I mean, that's the norm. A guy
Right.
is always going to be
Right.
possible to do this, and also can do this at a late
Like De
stage.
Niro and Pacino. That was the example I was going to go back to because we were talking about it. So, and a girl, this can't happen.
And then,
Right.
and with a woman, it's so important for her to have her kids at a early age.
Of
Or
course.
if she's not ready, the smart thing to do is freeze your
Freeze
eggs.
their eggs.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing for sure. You definitely want to do that. And at that point, I mean, listen, females are having children at later ages than we ever think they possibly could. So at that point, it's never say never, right? For somebody,
Right.
But like we were talking about, the less riskier way would be to have it when you're younger or freeze your eggs. And at that point, you could find a donor or getting married to somebody and have their semen. So, there's a lot of different choices you can do out there.
Well, let's take a jump here for a second and just kind of I want to revisit the incredible weekend that we had
Oh my God, that was great.
at the Arnold. It was just we got to sit down with some incredible alphas
Yes,
and talk about the journeys.
yes,
And the one thing they all had was the hold themselves as accountable mentality.
that was
A special thing didn't make them. It was a combination of trial and error and life and
Right.
being raised. And there was so many factors to this, but they all had that one common thing is get up and put the work in.
Yep.
What was some of the things that you took away being there with them?
I mean, a lot of accountability on their end. That was the one main theme that I did hear throughout the conversations through every single one of them. Something in their life that made them change per se, and they had that opening like awe moment, like I'm going to change this. Like NDO champ, that one really burned something into me when it was like, I was going to get deported, and all the different things he went through, going through his story. Which you guys are going to love that podcast, but that was one thing. So, I mean, it was one for him. I mean, even hearing like Kyle's story, right? Kyle is one of the most amazing people that you would meet like that, as far as that goes. I mean, so much put against him and so much he's already done and so much he wants to do. Like, so that was it. So drive, I guess, motivation and that fire, right? And because it didn't matter if you had a disability or you were like Matt Wining and you were, a professional power lifter and one of the best in the world. I mean, every one of them, the exact same thing, man. So it was really cool to hear that. And not feeling sorry for themselves. That was the other one. I think that was it. And masculinity. That was the other thing that I took away from it. Is it's not toxic masculinity to be masculine, and we should embrace this as males and not push it away or think anything of it. I mean, I truly believe in that. So I want my son to be a masculine male. I want him to be able to protect his family, take care of his family, and do the right thing for his community and for the world. So
With Peter being around the grandfather and you, yeah, that's
yeah.
and everybody that comes through that house. I wish everybody got a chance to meet John's dad, but
Yeah.
he's like right out of the movies. He really is. He's out of one of
He's
those.
a character for
Yeah,
sure.
man.
He's definitely a character.
He's a beast. And I agree with you. I think everybody there, and it's funny you said Matt Wenning because you got a guy who has a couple master's degrees, you know, and on the spectrum of just genius, and all the way over to Kyle, to where he's loving life and everything in between. They get up, they go to the gym, and it stems from health and fitness, eating right, and training.
Yep.
All of them, straight across
Absolutely.
the board. That's why they all could sit down in that room, and that's why they could all hold their own, regardless of where they're raised, their upbringing, their education. I thought that was the coolest thing.
It was. It definitely was. I mean, even with CT Fletcher, I mean, the guy had a heart transplant, right? I mean, there's not too many people that are going to, excuse me, you're right, 2 heart transplants. So, yeah, because the first one went wrong. So, at that point, what do you say to that? You know, you flatlined so many times, that means you're legally dead. And you've had 2 heart transplants. I mean, that's just a story in itself as a survivor. No matter what, man, you know, just grit, toughness. It was awesome to sit in that room with every single one of those people and with you and Clark, because I'm surrounded by greatness. I love it. Like, you know, that circle was great as far as the conversations, and right up my alley. I think we were all on the same brain wavelengths, and we were all on the same page.
I want to jump again to something else is, and for everybody listening, all these sit downs and podcasts will be shown over on Generation Iron on the Michael Hearn Show, and I got to be co-host with Johnny and Clark Bartram the whole weekend, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was really
And
cool.
I think even Mona jumped in with CT for a bit there as well.
Awesome.
But
Yeah.
you'll be able to see all those and see the discussions we had. But we also we got to meet a lot of fans of Titan Medical and ourselves, and
Yes.
and talk to people, which is always great.
Awesome.
But I also realized that there's a huge time is valuable. And it's interesting where if you let certain individuals, they'll suck up your time
Yes.
in a negative way.
Yes.
And
True.
if you're around somebody else, they raise you up with a positive kind of outlook. And I noticed that just going over to the expo for a moment of time, or walking the streets as we were
Oh my
doing.
God. Oh my gosh.
There was, I think Mona said, somebody stopped me and he goes, "Well, I got one question for you." And his one question was very elementary and almost a waste of time, and
Yeah.
something a 12-year-old could find out on the internet.
Right.
The one who's gonna win?
How much do you bench or something like that, right?
Yeah, hey, what's your PR? It's like,
Yeah. What's your PR and bench?
And I just got to thinking, relative to some others that came up, and it's like, I'm from New Zealand. I flew in for this. I
Yeah.
flew in to meet you from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Kidding me? Holy
Yeah.
cow. And he's just like, yeah, you motivated me. I got in shape and I saved my life and all this and that. And I was like, wow. So the two extremes. And so just stepping out of that, I think people that are maybe don't go to the expo or don't travel as much as we do, take a look around you. And those people that you're having discussions with, are they adding to you, or are they taking away from you? With those
It's true.
conversations and the time that you have, because again,
It's
it goes
true.
back to, I know that for you are all about having those great conversations, especially right now with what's going on in your personal
Yeah.
life, if I could say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Listen, I'm an open book as far as that goes. I don't hide things about what's going on.
Your time's
So-
valuable.
Absolutely. Time is valuable. You never get it back in whatever you're doing, right? It's a commodity. I mean, it's something that's like currency, but you will never get this currency back. So at that point, you know, when you get busy, if you ever get busy, like you are constantly on the go and every minute will count, and you want to stick to a schedule to be productive. And if you give your time away and you're not productive, then you're losing money for whatever your business is or your brand or whatever you want to say as far as that goes business wise. Personal wise, you're losing out on time too as well. So that personal time you can't spend with friends, family, doing your hobbies, activities, working out, whatever it is. So there's got to be some sort of structure and balance and boundaries of what you're going to set to make sure that this doesn't happen, right? And if people do come up to you, you handle it really well, right? I mean, you turn into like, some people would get mad, right? Or they would get a little upset, like, are you kidding me with these questions right now? Just get out of here. Just get out of here. I mean, you turn it on them and you make it almost funny and comedic, and they can't say anything back. It was awesome. We were at the booth we were at in the Arnold, and at that point, somebody came up to Mike, and he's like, and these guys, like true fans, come up to Mike and like, oh my God, like, so good to meet you, thank you so much, or whatever the compliment may be. Or they have him sign something. I mean, people were signing, they wanted him to sign Jordans. They took off their Jordans. They had belts. Some guys had limited edition pictures of Mike and drawings. So it was really cool as far as that goes. But you always see, there's always a couple cats that are going to come through. And like we were talking about in one of these podcasts, they want to try to bring people down. And that's where they get the likes, the views, or whatever it is, their image. So, this guy comes up to Mike and he's like, how much do you weigh? And Mike's joking around. Like, I don't know, I weigh 185 or whatever he said. And he started, just going back and forth with Mike. And Mike was being really cool about it. And, Mike said, I'll tell you what, lift up your shirt. So the guy opens up, he had a jacket on. And he opened up the jacket and he had like a T-shirt underneath. And he lifts up his shirt. Now, you got to be pretty ballsy to do this if you ain't packing underneath, okay? And this guy pulled up his shirt and he had to flex as hard as he possibly could. You could see, the one or two top ones, and then you see this big round little belly at the bottom. And I was always going to tell him, hey, listen, I think you have some hormonal issues. You might need to take care of him and give him a card. and then he
a little high, buddy.
Right? And so at that point, like, you would think he would stop there. I would have stopped there, okay? Just it is what it is. But he then tells Mike to lift his shirt up. And come on, guys. I mean, Mike's never out of shape, and he's really getting into shape right now. So at that point, if he takes his shirt off at an expo, that means, he's pretty confident what's underneath. So he lifts up his shirt, dude, and I mean, he's chiseled out. So, I mean, it's just like, all right. And then we're like, all right, it's time to leave. And then the people that had the booth got him out of there. But, it's just things like that. It made me laugh, and it was funny. It was funny to see, like, I like how you handled it, and, it's just crazy. But majority of the people are there to embrace you or, conversate with you, take a pic with you, or, just be around you. So, that's a compliment itself, and that's really cool. I know you get it more than I do, but I mean, the love that we get out there is really cool, really, really cool. And we appreciate all that.
I think everything that we do, this Titan community, you and I, and Mona and the whole teams, I think it's a metaphor or an analogy of life that you're going to get both sides of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, are you going to waste your time with this one over here?
Right.
That's just being annoying, is trying to bring you down, or is trying to use you to get wherever he's going? Or are you going to go with the other side that they're supportive, they're helping you, they're pushing you? And I think, I know that we took that journey down what we were doing, but for everybody watching today, I would circumvent, or what do they say? They could say, go back and clean out who you're hanging out with at some times. Take check of who's in your life that's there.
Absolutely.
Or who's taking.
And that's the other big point too. If you look around the people that you're surrounded with and you are not happy with what you see, that's going to be you. Birds of a feather flock together. Those old sayings, they're all true. Whoever comes up with all saying, they're all true. Every single one of them. As a kid, the old guy would tell me these sayings. I was like, man, this guy don't know what he's talking about. And every one of those things have been true. So it is true. So if you want to change yourself, let's say you're not happy with yourself, then you're going to want to go and you have to go be proactive to meet people in what you want to do. If it's to be a professional bodybuilder, go try to meet all the professional bodybuilders you can, become friends, get around them, get in their routine, because you will be in that routine. If everybody you're around is working out at 6 o'clock in the morning and they're eating chicken and rice or broccoli, whatever the hell it is, and they're going to sleep early and they're not drinking, and you surround yourself with those people, you won't do it. But if you surround yourself with people that are doing those things, it's the party lifestyle, right? And I spent years in the promotion business inside of it, and I still don't do drugs, never have. Maybe some MJ, but at that point, I've seen a lot of people get caught up and lose themselves and what they worked so hard for in a lot of circumstances. So it's something you should just be proactive about. That's all I'm saying.
If anybody's here listening and they're wondering why are we talking about the past or this weekend and stuff, it has nothing to do with the weekend. It has to do with what we're trying to help you guys understand, that it really doesn't matter if it's the expo and you're there to meet people or it's your life.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, it's like it's clean them out. Get those people that are fans of yours. Your friends should be fans
Yep.
of yours.
Yep.
You know, and they should be cheering you to get better. And I know I had a struggle day today, terrible day.
Really?
The energy is, it might be it's the whole ups and downs, and I'm dieting as hard as I am and everything. And yesterday was a very emotional day for me because it was my son's fifth birthday, and I just got off the Arnold weekend, and here's me complaining. And I've been dieting extremely
Yes.
hard, and
Yes.
and it's funny because Jeffrey reminds me. I go, yeah, but I did a fast and all this and that. He goes, yeah, but you've been dieting for 3 months, and so it's not
Right.
like you were eating like everybody else, and then you just did this. You've
Right.
already been in a deficit, and you're cutting, and then you go
Right.
to this. So I woke up today, and it took me hours to get moving and going and getting the energy. And I'm like, maybe I should just phone this one in. Maybe I should just go, no workout today. Take the day, chill. Because like you, we did the whole weekend, came
Yeah.
back,
Yep.
no day off.
No.
We flew in, and we thought Jeff was going to head home and take the days, and where he's like, I got footage to cut. I ain't taking it. Nobody's done.
Yes.
Got up the plane at 9 a.m. We're like, let's go to work.
That was
So
awesome.
today took it some time, but I had the circle around me, and they just, let's do this. Let's go. Let's get your ass moving. Let's go. And so it was so cool because not always am I that guy. So if anybody's wondering, I'm not always that guy that's like 100% ready to go train and pumped up and ready to go. Today was one of those days I could have easily stayed in bed all day, but got help from the crew.
That's it. You gotta have this support, man. It's all about that. Your support system's everything too. I mean, they're there when you're down, they're there when you're out, and they'll push you forward. They will help instead of somebody that's negative Nancy on your side and pushing you back and talk about all the negative things. It's all about positivity. That's contagious too. Negativity and positivity. So whoever you want to surround yourself with, you'll get that mega dose of.
Energy is energy,
Yes.
and
And it transfers.
yeah.
It does.
And when you give it up, like at the expos, and I'm giving that energy from those fun people, it gets me more energy, and I make it through.
Yeah.
And it's a cool thing. And then you get like the little hiccups here and there, and you're like,
Yeah.
I could be the ass, but I try to teach at that moment and go, is this how you're going to rest your head at the end of the night, being this guy? I mean, that's not very alpha of you, or
No.
male, or just a person. It's interesting. So that being said, I know that for you, you're back in it. What is next for Titan Medical, and what's going on this week for specials? Because I got the
Sure.
email, and if you guys are not on the email list, let's today put up a story over on my page, and we'll put it on the
Okay.
YouTube as well,
Awesome.
to sign up for the Titan Medical newsletter. So you guys are on their mailing list, so you can kind of get these updates that John's going to explain to us right now about something huge
Yes.
that he talked to me about.
Yes. So the newsletter comes out every week, every Monday, and I would highly suggest you get on it, especially if you're interested in Type Medical Center therapies and discounts. So every week on our newsletter, we're going to discuss, what the therapy of the week is, which I'm going to go into here in a second. And then we have other different therapies that we have listed, and then you can find out more information on that. The therapy of the week, you're always going to get a discount on. So I would highly suggest you look at every week. And if it's of interest of you, then you can take advantage of the discount. After that, we've got a good health tip in there, so you can read, learn something too as well. It's going to be educational, and then we have all our events that are on there. With the therapy of the week this week, so the therapy of this week is going to be, I think, one of the biggest game changer therapies that we've had in a long time. I don't know, as of lately, semaglutide, tirzepatide have been king so far as that goes, like amazing drugs. But this one is another FDA-approved peptide therapy, and it's called tesamorelin. And tesamorelin is awesome in a whole bunch of different ways. And tesamorelin is a GHRH therapy. So what that means is it's a growth hormone-releasing hormone therapy peptide. And what does it do? Okay, so GHRHs, there's been other ones in the past, like semarelin, CJC1295, ipamorelin's another GHRH. MK677. So they all work a little bit in different ways. They all work pretty good. But tesamorelin has another benefit. It will, one, raise growth hormone levels naturally in your pituitary. So that means anti-aging effect, better recovery, better sleep, better hair, skin, nails. Like that's the desired effect. Because over time, your growth hormone is going to start decreasing. And with that, it's the withering effect, like a flower. After you've bloomed, you're going to wither and you start dying. So at that point, you're going to raise that. Which, if you raise that lean body mass, weight loss, metabolic function will increase and be better. And then the second big effect that it's approved for is it specifically targets visceral body fat, adipose tissue. So this is the bad fat in your body that surrounds your organs and is really hard to get rid of usually. So with this, and usually weight loss drugs, you lose weight all over, not in specific sections, right? So this is really cool as far as that effect because, one, we definitely want to target that visceral fat as much as possible. A lot of people have belly fat and visceral fat, and you'll be healthier, right? The less fat you have on your body, especially visceral fat, you're going to be healthier. So two big effects, like I said, raising growth hormone levels and targeting visceral fat and belly fat. So this therapy is it's been approved since 2010. As far as us, we really haven't gotten into it until now. We want to make sure we always put a couple people through the process with these therapies, including myself. And we start looking at how
You're doing?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, I started it. I started about a week ago.
Right.
So I want to get on it because one, I want to see, hey, listen, when I inject this, sub-Q or IM, how does it make me feel? Okay, I want to see if I'm going to get some sort of reaction around the site. Some of these peptides do cause reactions if you do subcutaneous in some people. So it's always worth a try, and we do it on various number of people that we've had on this therapy just to say, hey, listen, what was the reaction? How did it feel? And get the gist of it. So I can at least tell somebody, hey, listen, this is what I've been experiencing on this. This is how I would do it. So at that point, that's been a big one for us. And a lot of people know about tesamorelin before we even launched it. So when we launched the newsletter, I mean, it went really crazy as far as that goes because, like I said, it's a really in-demand therapy. And if somebody's looking for something that's probably going to be the best other than prescription growth hormone and more safer, this is going to be the one to go to.
Nice.
So that's why when I talk to you about it, I'm like, listen, we've been running CJC 1295 with ipamoreline. Great combination. Two different peptides working synergistically together to boost. But if we really want to get crazy, I think this one's going to be the one that will get us past the finish line where we want to go. I think that it's going to be more beneficial in a lot of different ways.
So this will help me get better abs is it by one thing, and then also get rid of some of that fat.
Right.
My growth hormone possibly keep me more youthful.
Exactly.
But hair again, nails, that kind of stuff.
Skin, yeah.
And again, I think when since the day I got into health and fitness, they've always talked about HGH, growth hormone, or whatever, and
Of course.
the pricing of that is you have to be a.
You better make some money.
I
Yeah.
dated a girl once, and my dad said, "You may be rich, you're not rich enough."
Right.
I
Right.
go, wow, that's a wise man.
Yes.
I was like
So true.
20. I was like, it just oh, and I think going back to like you said, the HG is so expensive, and also it seems like there's so many side effects to that.
There can be.
What is
Absolutely.
yeah, the HGH it could be. Um,
Could be.
what is the side effects here? There's got to be a downside to this, right?
So
Gotta
there's
be.
there's no downside. But it is a lot safer as far as that goes. It's not going to create overgrowth. So if you take growth hormone, depending on what the dosage is of real growth hormone, those levels can spike. And if they spike, obviously if they're really high, I mean, your organs can get bigger, your forehead can
I've
get
had too
bigger.
many friends that have
You know what I'm
just
saying? So
ended their lives. And just
yeah, I mean,
doing
there's people that overdo it. As far as that goes. If you were to take maybe a therapeutic dose of growth hormone, would anything happen? I don't know. It might not.
But yeah,
as
your
far
bank
as that
account would
goes.
go down a lot.
So, but with this, like I said, the only side effects that could happen, common side effect, would be flush, nausea, something like, and that's general with any injection. But that's really about it. There's no prolactin levels are going to raise, sugar levels are going to raise, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Because even with growth hormone, if you take it for an extended period of time and you take a dose that I guess your body realizes that might be too much, this could cause you to be type 2 diabetic. So you could actually, get diabetes by taking growth hormone too much. So,
I've always talked about
there's things and negative side effects that you don't want to do with growth hormone. Plus the price range of what you're going to be doing with it. If you do something safer that was going to be almost just as good, and even with growth hormone, that doesn't target specific belly fat or visceral fat. So, I mean, this is where I think it has an edge to that a little bit. Now we're talking about growth hormone levels. Listen, obviously, straight growth hormone, if you take apples to apples, is probably going to raise it a lot more in IGF-1 wise. But it doesn't have this component that we're talking about with testosterone. And like I said, it doesn't have a lot of the negative side effects that could happen to you by taking testosterone versus growth hormone.
I'll make sure as soon as I receive mine, I will make sure to do a YouTube video and mark
Yep.
down like this is when I'm starting, and then
Yes.
try to give everybody an insight of what
Yes.
over the next 12 weeks
Yes,
that does for me and what I find.
I love it. I've been documenting. I already got week 1 done, so
I love
you
it.
know I'm gonna document every week, see where I'm at, as far as that goes. And I've been really consistent, pretty consistent. I mean, I guess in this last weekend, I had a piece of cake and some ice cream, I guess, here or there. So, and I had a cheesesteak when I came in on Thursday because there was nothing open. So, but Mona
Well, that-
enjoyed one of those with me. So,
I was the witness for that one.
That kind of led me to my next question is what were some of the things that Big John did when he traveled to the Arnold? What was your protocol during you got in on Thursday? if I'm
Thursday night.
correct,
Nice.
Yeah.
and you left out on Sunday.
Yeah.
What did you bring with, and what did you find that helped you stay clear-minded, focused, and energy?
Sure. So, as far as therapy wise or eating wise,
Therapy-wise.
Therapy-wise,
What
that's
was
what I
your
thought.
regimen that you brought with?
sure. So, I always bring all my regiment. I never stop my regiment, whether it's cold items or non-cold items. Drew's always joking when we travel because he's traveled with me a lot. Because when you open I call it my bug out bag. Literally, like I have all my meds in like 2 huge jumbo plastic bags, and they're on top with all my needles and all the whole nine. So I'm probably usually carrying about 100 to 200 insulin needles with me, and then I'm carrying Hercules Potion with me because I'm usually going to train wherever I'm at. Titan Complete I take in the morning. I've been taking my testosterone in the morning, empty stomach. AOD 9604 I've been taking. I've just switched off of IGF-1, so that's what I was taking previous. What else do I take? I take my ECA Stack Plus. I take my hair health capsules. I take my Prometheus, which if you don't know what Prometheus has in it, that's one of our other capsule therapies that's good for weight loss. That has metformin in it and has bupropion in it. So metformin, it was type 2 diabetic drug, but they've used it for weight loss and anti-aging, and they have those studies going on right now with it. Bupropion, it's something that will help detour cravings. So they use it with people that are trying to quit smoking, eating, alcohol. So it creates an euphoric effect, and it will help decrease cravings in some of these different foods that people might be wanting to go after. So I take that too as well. I think that's
Jump
it.
back for 1 second, if I just heard you correctly. You said you are taking your testosterone in the morning.
Yep.
It, so
You can take it at night. You can take it
Right.
at night. Yeah.
is, tell me what effects did you find that you took it in the morning? Because again, I'm still learning this.
Sure,
You're
sure.
with me. Isn't the IGF or the Samorlin or even
Yeah.
Testimomorlin or MK or any of these things, isn't it triggered as you fall asleep, and that's kind of the component that you need to go along with it? Not all the time.
So not necessarily. I mean, you could take it early in the morning, right when you wake up on an empty stomach, and it's going to hit you pretty good. And that will raise growth hormone levels. It doesn't matter if you're sleeping, not sleeping. It's going to ramp up the pituitary and growth hormone levels. It's going to target visceral body fat anyway. And my whole reason to just start, because what I'm really going to do is I'm starting it just in the day. I want to see how it is in the day. And then I'm going to start taking it at night by itself. And then I'm going to take it in the morning and at night.
So you're just basically
I'm experimenting.
like me, you're studying.
I want to see how it's going to affect me, and then I'll be like, hey, listen, my other guys that I have on this therapy, I'll be like, hey, listen, I want you to try this, and see what works best for me, what works best for them, because I mean, you could take them in the morning, like I said, GHRHs, even growth hormone, you could take in the morning, but it would be better to multi-dose, and the multi-dose function would work in the morning and at night, and on an empty stomach in the morning, you're absorbing everything. Like usually all these medications that you take in the morning, my other reasoning to try to take in the morning first off was, I'm like, well, I have to go through my day, right? I'm not sleeping. So my metabolism should really be burning. It should really be working a lot better, hopefully, and just see how it is, So, I mean, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to blood test, and I'm going to see how I feel. I'm going to blood test and see how I feel. So,
I love that you do that. I love that you
got to
don't-
see.
I love that you don't do the norm. It's like, okay, yes, take this at night. That's given. Here's the research. Here's the studies. But let me check for me what works.
Right.
And so I think that's just.
There might be a better way. And I know for a fact that the double dosing effect is going to work a lot better, obviously. Because, I mean, we offer two programs. There's a 1 milligram, 2 milligram program, right? And the 2 milligram program is what I got you going on from the providers, and that's what I'm on. So most people, when they call in, they opt in for the higher dose because it's going to work a lot better and a lot faster. Not to say the first one's not going to work, but people really want to get expedited results. That's what they do.
So I'm glad that you said something. You said something there that triggered something in my mind. It's like a comedian that brings us all the way around to the joke, and they finally stick it in there at the end.
Punchline.
And what you said was it helps you optimize it. It helps you the very best for you for what you need to do. And that's why they come in and they do the top dose.
Yep.
For those that are out there that are sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, this is why I want you around these elite people. Like, that's why I'm around John. That's why I'm asking him questions. That's why I'm taking notes, is because I'm still learning this stuff. But it's also, I'm around these individuals that say, tomorrow's, skip it. We're doing this today. We're calling Titan Medical today. We're giving the calls to them. We're going to talk to John or one of his providers to say, what can I do to get better? What can I do to start here with Titan Medical? And how do I get to be on here with you guys and start living this life? And so that was the whole point of the whole traveling all the way around here and what Johnny does here. And Johnny's living the life. Like I said, man, this guy, it doesn't matter. I'm passing out at 7 o'clock. This guy's out at these events, still dancing and raving like a madman.
I'm telling you, I'm getting too old for all that stuff, man. My friends drag me out to those things over here or there, and it's like, I'm thinking it's a good idea until I'm getting there. I'm there for so long. I'm like, all right, man. Like, it is what it is. Even my birthday, we were in this red room, and like it's really nice in the Additions, 5-star hotel, whatever. And it was just, that scene. Like, if I go somewhere and I do something like that, Like, I don't really want to be around a whole bunch of people. So I need my own section, my area where I feel comfortable and nobody's invading. Then I can people watch and have a good time and talk to my people, right? That's a good time to me. Okay. But me being crouched or slammed against and all that, like, I got to have personal space
No,
now.
that's why I like going to dinners. You go to
Oh, for
dinners,
sure.
people, you sit down, nice restaurant, you
Yes.
have communication there.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you don't
You
see
don't-
you don't see the whole crew back here, but Serge is here and Bobo.
Oh, really?
And Jeff is here. Now Jeff has got to experience you firsthand.
Yeah.
And one thing he said when he was flying back with me, he goes, "You're going to lose me to Johnny. I'm going over there. I'm done. I'm putting in my 2-week notice. You're boring. I'm hanging with him. I need to get
gosh.
over there with Art and Andreas and be with that crew." So
And Clark said it's so easy to fall in love with this too. Because you
Oh,
also, it was
thank
the
you.
first time you guys really sat down, you knew each other online, but never.
Yeah.
And you see, Clark is so like,
Oh, he's awesome.
amazing.
Love Clark.
But let me tell you, he was just so impressed with you and Cherise. And he
Oh,
loved
wow.
you. Yeah,
That's a
he
huge
loved-
compliment.
yeah,
That's a huge
he
compliment.
was.
Thank you,
I'm just
guys.
surprised you didn't hit on Sharice.
He
He was
a
hitting on
boxer.
Kyle's mom right there in front of all of us, and he's like,
I was like, oh. I love it though. You don't have a filter as far as that goes. It was good. It was definitely good.
"Oh my gosh."
You know.
I see that somebody here was like, what about vitamin C? Well, here's what we have. The,
Sure.
The Tri-Immune
Yes.
is unbelievable.
Will you tell us about that and vitamin C and all the
Sure,
benefits? you just
sure,
did?
sure. So vitamin C is an antioxidant. Obviously, it can be good for a number of different things. They use it for a number of different things. But oxidation in the body is just one big thing that it helps out with. The other thing about it is, boost immune system, all that good stuff. I'm sure people know plenty about vitamin C. Now, what's the best way to get vitamin C? Obviously, a lot of people take it orally. Injectable is one of the best ways you're going to get it, other than an IV, which is intravenous, which is not going to be doable for the average person every single day. Or even somebody that could do it like me. I would never there's no way I'm getting an IV every day. It's just, you're sticking a vein every day, you're having a problem. I'm not doing that. So we have two different options. One, you can get vitamin C injectable by itself, okay, at 500 milligrams per ml. That's a huge, really, really concentrated dose. That's 1 ml. We also have vitamin C along with two other spectacular ingredients like glutathione and zinc. So, and you're still getting a 300 milligram dose, which is really, really good, especially doing IM. And you're getting all three components.
Yeah.
Super antioxidants. I mean, you have zinc, essential minerals. So, I mean, you're going to get a lot as far as that goes, and it's going to help with immunity. It's going to help with if you go out the night before and you're hurting the next day. Like glutathione is a really, really good one to get you over that. It'll help you start feeling better. And those are the big things. I mean, oxidation and all that stuff too as well. I mean, I don't think people realize it.
I'm not going to be for vitamin C, that's for sure. I'll do that whole, the trio,
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing the injection, you might as well get all three.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
So I love the and I tell you what, and correct me if I'm wrong on this one, Michael.
You're never wrong.
We've been going to a lot of expos, and we're traveling together for 10 years now, right?
Yep.
But I would say maybe 60% of the time, if not more, and especially around this time of year, you always get sick when we get home.
I do. This time.
You didn't
Oh,
get sick.
wow. Great point.
Yeah. Like he's doing
Oh,
his
no.
glutathione,
I
he's doing
didn't even
his
think of
vitamins.
that. I just,
Well,
Just think about it.
I mean, I think too, the more you diet down, the less your immune system. I mean, you're
So
not
you
getting all the
understand.
support.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm always sliced for these appearances, and so my immune system is very beat. I'm shaking everybody's hands, and so I'm allowing that weak immune system to also get hit.
Yep.
So I have always got sick. But it's interesting. I was diced down just like any other time. So, but I am, just so everybody understands, I am on glutathione. And so
I think it
I
helps.
did not get sick. Now I'm fatigued. I did say that earlier, but fatigued is because of just the lack of calories going in and
course.
how hard I'm training. So you guys, it's a completely different world. When I mean I'm sick, I mean I'm like in bed, done, sick. From previous, not this time, and it didn't even occur to me. I guess I'm living my best life, being optimized through Titan Medical, better than ever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you
And I
don't
didn't even know it. Didn't even know it.
See, working in the background. It's something you wouldn't even notice unless you were really thinking about it. But you're getting those benefits. People are like, oh man, like people always look for like an instant gratification. Like, what's this going to do for me right this second? It doesn't work like that with some of these different things. It works in the background, but it's working. Like glutamine. Like nobody feels recovery
Right,
like immediately
right.
when they
Yeah.
take glutamine, right? So I mean, it's just listen. You got to trust the process. These things are made to do these things, and they're going to help. So I'm really happy with that. Like I said, I'm a true believer in when taking these things. So even glutathione, and it helps me. Like you said, think about how many people's hands you shook, right? And it wasn't like an open space.
Wow, it was like
walls
hugs,
or
man.
ceiling.
It was
Right?
mostly hugs, right?
You know what I'm saying? Hugs. I mean, and you're talking about from around the world. So I mean, it's something, man. It really is. It's something to say. At that point.
I don't want to let you go just yet. I got two more questions for
Sure.
you, and I'm going to let you answer them first because I have my own opinion of both questions. Here is the first one. What's the price?
Which one?
Like maybe
Roland's Loft.
Mr. Moreland or anything.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
There's
I
too many
think
prices, guys.
no problem. So Triimmune is $275 for a 30-shot therapy package. So that can last up to 2 months, depending on how you take it. You can take it every day; it's going to last 30 days. If you take it every other day, it's going to last 60 days. So you can get a lot of use out of that. Now, you could take it as a maintenance. If you're really sick, then you could possibly take it every day. For some people, like they're just wanting preventative, proactive. So at that point, you can take it every other day, and it's going to cost you split that for 2 months. So at that point, it really is up to the patient and the provider as far as what's going to go on there as far as that goes. But it's $275, real simple, real easy. Tesamorelin. So tesamorelin is a little bit more expensive. So tesamorelin is going to be around the 750, 900 mark, I think, is what the high dose is going to go for. And that's going to last, I believe it's 10 weeks. So you need 10 weeks of medication for that.
10 weeks. 10
yeah.
weeks.
Yeah. So at that point, that's how it is. Even our semaglutide and tirzepatide are 8 to 10 week programs.
Wow. Okay.
How's that other company trying to get? Man, I'm sorry. I think that's awesome. And great pricing. Again, go on over there, Titan Medical. Get your blood work done. Then talk to your provider, and then the great thing about that is make sure your diet and nutrition is on point, and this stuff all helps. And then I don't know if you want to answer this one. Where was it?
Sure.
How do you get in shape in 6 weeks?
Woo! You better be eating real clean. You better be sleeping. You better be training your ass off. Now, how do you get sliced in 6 weeks? It doesn't matter. I guess it is. What's the foundation that we're starting from?
Yay.
Right? Because there's got to be. What are we working with right away? Are you at like 10% right now? Or we need to get down to 8? Or are you 20%? We need to try to get you down to 10. Well, that's not going to happen in 6 weeks. I mean, unless you're going to do surgery, we could do like maybe some lipo and, but it's not going to happen. Like, I don't care how many drugs you take. Now, if you need to lose weight, semaglutide, tirzepatide, you could probably lose a good amount of weight in 6 weeks if you're very aggressive. But I don't know about slice. Slice to me is like you take your shirt off, it's chiseled out. You're talking about 12%. That's a little bit more doable, I guess. So, I guess really, what is the foundation? What would you say, Mike? Because
I would say this guy's an idiot because anybody that says how do you get sliced in 6 weeks has asked that question his whole life and never started, and everybody has told him how to do it, and he's never done it.
yeah,
So I would ignore the person and ban him from the podcast.
yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know how you get sliced in 6 weeks. Maybe start. You're so nice though. And then for the price,
I see one guy talking about supplement second, training and all that first, something around those lines.
yeah, nutrition.
We
Training,
always push that.
and then the other guy that says, "What's the price?" The price is too much for you not to do.
Yes.
That's my answer.
Yeah.
So for you to ask what the price is, it's again, it's your life. I don't know what you believe your life is worth
Yeah.
and the quality of your life.
Yeah.
So for you, maybe it's too expensive. For
Yeah.
me, I'm sorry. This is how you should be living. This is how
Yeah.
you should be 60 years old and going, I'll crush the 20-year-old.
Yeah.
That's my belief on what life should
Yeah.
be about. It should be that. So again, what's the price? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And how do you get it sliced in 6 weeks? Shut up, dude.
Call, yeah, call or text us 727-389-3220 if you want any pricing or you want to talk about any of the therapies more in depth. Our staff will be happy to go over that. They're very knowledgeable. But yeah, the slice in 6 weeks, yeah, it's you know, is what it is.
The number's right there at the very bottom here. This guy says, "How do you look like Bobo?" For you,
How do I look like Bobo?
No, you don't look like him. I'll say that. He's
No.
he can look like him.
Yes.
Best recommendation is start eating hot dogs, stop training.
Oh yes.
And
Drink a whole bunch of beer.
Yeah, you look like him.
Lucas should be like, where is Bobo? He just stepped out literally.
Yeah, he did. He got scared that we're gonna pull him on here.
Uh-oh. Is
Yeah.
he shy?
Yeah, he's a very shy cat. Lucas is also a Titan crew member, but also he's with Titan Medical.
Oh wow, nice.
And I actually, it's interesting I clicked on this, is because I just asked him to go do his blood work again so we could see something. And if you have
Nice.
one more minute, I'd like to ask you this.
Sure.
Is that I think he's been on his protocol for a good couple months now, I think around close to 3 months now. And the one concern I always had with him, because of his age too, he's in his 30s, and his free testosterone is, I think, between
Wow.
9 and 11. So
Wow.
in the tanker.
Okay.
And so my statement was to him is that's the number that needs to rise.
Mm-hmm.
Because his testosterone levels in a decent area of 600 in that range.
Mm-hmm.
And so your recommendation,
So
now that he went back in, I don't think he was on enclomiphene. I don't think he was.
yeah, so I mean, you could start with enclomiphene. That would be probably a good way to do it, and see if that bumps. Now that should bump total, and it should bump free. The other drug, and I talk about this one a lot, but there's always a caveat to this drug, is that Danazol will work to free up free testosterone, like immediately. I'm talking about you take it that day, you're going to boost your free testosterone
Oh,
up
I'm so glad
tremendously.
you said that.
But here's the caveat, Mike, is if
Okay.
you have a good total, you don't want to mess with Danazol because it could possibly lower down total. So,
You
and
said
it
that
did-
before,
you know,
but my curiosity is, and I'm slow here, so explain this to me. Why would that matter if your free goes up to, let's say, 30 or something like that? Now it's like, okay, now that's working,
right,
and your total drops from 600 to 450.
right,
But at least you're using that 450
sure.
to where you're not using the 600, even though it's a bigger number. So
I agree.
Why is that wrong?
It's not wrong per se, and you've got a great point, right? You're utilizing more of what you got. If you go down 150 points, it is what it is. But you know, people get stuck on those numbers.
Okay, so
No,
it's a mental thing.
It's a mental. They get stuck on like, man, I was 600 before, and I started taking this drug, and yeah, my free came up, but my total went down. Like, why? Like, I didn't want this, and so I always tell people, I'm very transparent about it, because listen, I know I've took Danazol. I'm telling you, first day you take one of those capsules, boom, and you get spontaneous erections. I mean, it's that powerful of a drug.
You should have said that.
It,
He's going to be so
listen,
happy about that.
Danazol was originally it's in the family of Nastrazol, Letrozole. It is an aromatase inhibitor. It's supposed to stop estrogen from rising. Right? It doesn't work that good as an estrogen blocker. I tested it for both ways. Like I've stopped my Nastrazol. I'm like, let me go on Danazol. Let me see what it is. And man, talking about anybody we put on Danazol for the free testosterone, you are bumped up to the highest maximum optimal. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay.
But as far as helping my estradiol levels, not so much.
Okay. Well, it's great insight, man. You're dropping bombs today. and
It's
I love
good
that.
though, man. I mean, so enclomiphene would be the safest way to go. That would be somebody that, hey, listen, I want to just try to boost my levels. I don't want to shut down my natural production. Let me try this.
Yeah,
and
that's
usually
amazing.
both come up. But there are people that go on HRT. They're taking 200 milligrams a week, and at that point, the free never comes up. It's still bound. And those are the people that really benefit from Danazol because
Okay.
they ain't got to worry about their total coming down because they're taking testosterone. But now they're free as optimal, just like their total. And at that point, they're working on all cylinders, 110%.
Can they do
That Danazol.
Danazol and the clomiphene? Could they do the two of
You
them?
could, but I mean, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Like I said,
I'm doing
I
that.
would try the one, and I would do clomiphene first if you really want to see, and it will bump both numbers hopefully. And at that point, if that doesn't work, then you gotta say, hey, listen, what do I want to do here? Do I want to take Danazol and maybe knock down this number? And that could happen. And then down the road, that number stays like that, then they're going to be looking at HRT if they want to really optimize.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
And then I do want to talk about another individual.
Sure.
He jumped over to Titan Medical and he had to make the choice. And clomiphene was one of those things. And he said, well, I'm early 40s. I think he's 41, 42. And he said, now it's time. It's time to start the TRT.
Yep.
And he has gained 15 pounds of muscle. And this guy was lean before, and he looked great before. But he's one of these guys too that his testosterone was around 550,
Yep.
and his
Yep.
free was around 11. And now he's just put on 15 pounds in less than 8 weeks.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
his diet was already on point. He was already
Yep.
training hard. He was
Yep.
doing all these things.
Yep.
And it's cool for him for the first time in his life to do this venture
Yeah.
and how well it worked for him.
Yeah.
Now that's not going to be everybody, but it shows you again what can be done
Sure.
for somebody that has trained and put in the work, stayed on point. And again, join Titan Medical, and you got a success story again for somebody that
Absolutely.
really wanted to go, I want to be healthy again and feel healthy again.
Honestly, I love people like that are already doing the right thing, and that little part and man, it just lights up everything. So at that point, hyper responding or getting what they really should be getting out of the work that they're putting in. That when that's the ultimate payment for those guys. So, and even if you haven't started working out ever and you want to start getting healthy, start today. There's no reason. Even if you haven't done it for 40 or 50 years and you're 50 years old, you've been sitting on the couch every day, you've been eating garbage, make the change. It's never too late to make a change to be healthier, for sure.
I love it, Johnny. Johnny, everybody, the number is right there at the bottom here. And then we'll also, again, put up information for everybody here for you guys to go on over to Titan Medical to get signed up for their newsletter. And then also just to get their email list. So you guys get these updates like the Tessa Memorial
Oh,
and
yes.
know that this is this week's choice, I guess you
Oh,
would
yeah.
say.
Yep.
And then
They're
again,
special.
the pricing is incredible that what Titan Medical is setting you up to do. So get on
Yes.
over there.
Absolutely.
Johnny, thank you, man. You're savage.
I appreciate
do
you,
not
man.
Stop, kid. You do not stop.
Can't, man. We're only here for a short time. So at that point, I'm going to maximize that time.
And
I'm
then
going to get my sleep, but I'm going to maximize the time.
You do get your sleep. John also handles most of the DMs from the Titan Medical Instagram page. So
Yeah.
please go on over there. You can find their page through my page, Titan Medical, or just type in Titan Medical. Again, down there at the bottom of the screen is also their @Titan Medical channel. Get on over there. And then Johnny does a lot of lives. So if you have in-depth questions about
Sure.
HRT, TRT, make sure to follow him along.
Anything you guys need, peptides, blood work, nationwide service, guys.
Jeez, I'm just going to pose out right there.
Oh, not as big as yours, but I need to get them there.
Have a great day, kid.
You too, bro. Thank you, guys. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, brother. Man, a wealth of knowledge right there. And again, a great guy. And he's running that company so on point. So for everybody that's here, man, thanks for hanging out today, man. We had a crazy crowd. What are those pipes looking like? Where's the angle? Where's that? We can go old school. Bring it in. Take it up. That being said, thanks for hanging out, guys. Lucas, man, you got some decisions to make, my brother. And then the other individual I was talking about is Jeremy Davis, who's now complete savage, weighing 211 pounds. Yeah,
15?
yeah.
Yeah.
So
His legs.
well, let's hope most of it's to the legs. Those, am I looking juicy today, everybody? Is that
What's going on with you?
what's going on here? What's is the Nirvana shirt? Is it? I don't know. It's looking juicy though. I'm saying. What are the kind of questions we got here? Oh, that's a good question.
What's your take on peptides? What would you suggest to a 38-year-old who was on TRT? I stopped, and now I'm pretty thin.
Yeah. Well, my suggestion is that you would find out what's going on with your blood work, because if you're on TRT and you just stopped, yeah, you got to find out what damage you've done to your body, and the blood work will kind of tell you what you've done, and then go from that point. Peptides, I think, are incredible. So, and if you follow me, that's what we've been talking about the last year is peptides. Tons and tons of talks about peptides.
Here's one of your favorite questions. What's the best bicep exercise?
The one you do. What is the best bicep exercise? The one you do.
That's right.
So, talking about vitamin D. Dun, 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 dun. That's cool that Johnny's doing the Tessima Moreland in the morning.
Mhm.
I'm just it's so interesting to see that he's doing it in that kind of light and testing himself like that. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, guys.
Touch on skincare.
Yeah, we talk about skincare a lot, guys. What's the price? Too expensive? Not too. Thank you. How do you say his name?
JoJo's cars and stuff.
Hey, man. Thank you. Thank you, brother. All right, guys. I got to split out of here. We got to keep moving. Everybody, get over into the Titan crew. I know I saw about 40 requests to get in the Titan crew. And out of 40, only one answered the questions correctly. So 39 of you got booted. For everybody else, get on over to the Titan crew. That's where we do our check-ins. That's where not only do you get the understanding of the meal plans and how you need to eat individually, but then you get to ask me questions on top of that so we can really fine-tune those nutrition. All right, we out.